No, men get forged in fire, and in order to really strengthen that steel, we're gonna have to go through something and persevere through it. Our role within the household is to be the leader, which ultimately means everything falls back on us. So we need to catch it and be able to move, still knowing that we have all of this on our shoulders. I remember when I was talking about that funeral I went to for the 21-year-old that just got killed. His father was a short man, like 5'6", 5'7", but he was a giant walking through that little pew because he carrying his wife about 6'1". She was bigger than him. He's holding her up on his shoulder, and all the other people in the family that was torn down by them losing their child. And he walking like as a man, just holding that. I'm sure he wanted to break down and cry and fall on the ground. This man just lost his son, but he kept it together for his family. He got up there and kept it together for the other kids and players and all those other things. We have a burden of leadership, which requires us to be in a position where people can't lose faith by looking at us and saying, damn, this man, he crumbles. When the pressure comes to him, he gonna crumble. And if the people look at you like that, they lose faith in you, and you can't motivate effectively and garner the right respect if they feel like, man, he gonna crumble. And that's not to say man can't have emotions, because man absolutely can have emotions. It's just the way we express them has to be tempered specifically based off of the position that we're in. If you look at a job, right, a middle manager, he might not want to do something, and it might bother the hell out of him, but he can't go to the employees and tell them, man, we shouldn't be doing this. No, because he has a task. He's supposed to motivate them ahead of him. He could take that up with God or whoever else above him, but the task that he needs to get underneath, the complaining just goes to him. He's not complaining to them about that. It's a hierarchy. It's the way a hierarchy works. Yeah, that's what I got though.
So I don't think we're talking about men that are crumpling. Like, I don't think that is majority of men out there. Majority of men ain't crumbling. We're talking about a man being able to express, like what those two guys did on that panel, express how they feel about something, being able to go to somebody and tell them, hey, what you did is fucked up. It hurt. You should be able to say that and not be called sassy. You should be able to walk up to somebody and tell them, hey, bro, what you said was fucked up. Or, hey, lady, what you said to me was fucked up and it hurt. We're not talking about men when they go out into the workforce, and we ain't talking about men that go out to the workforce and crumple under their job. But what happens is that we look at, like, we even look at the next generation who says, hey, bro, we done getting paid for pennies. We done working for pennies. We demand a little bit more for our effort. And then we say, oh man, that generation don't know what the fuck they're doing. They wasn't forged in fire. They wasn't this. Not, I'm just using your term because that's the only thing I could think of, not specifically responding to you. But like, oh, well, they didn't go through their lumps. It's like, yeah, but we went through the lumps so they didn't have to. They watched us work for pennies. So now they like, hey, look, we seen our parents suffer under this. Why would we go out there and suffer under the same scrutiny and suffer under the same conditions? So they're more vocal about the conditions that they work in. They're more vocal about the women that they deal with. They're more vocal about the men that they deal with. Hey, I don't fucking like this about you. You need to change that shit, or we gonna have a problem. I don't find anything sassy about that. Now, I agree with y'all. But I don't see too many men crying. I don't see men, even today, I don't see men crying in general.
Sweeney, we just was talking about Tyrese crying all over the place. But he just up here crying.
Show me how many men in general are crying.
Sweeney, in front of the TV or online, as far as media go, it's a sassy. It is, because it's mostly men who
are not crying on TV.
Hold on, Sweeney. Do most of the men you see that's supposed to represent men, do you even think they like women, or do you think they date other men? A lot of the men on TV,
most men, like media
on TV, I'm saying the representation.
Media is the easiest thing to gather that. Most of them aren't crying. Most of them aren't crying. As a matter of fact, even when you look at someone like Tyrese, he done did 7 interviews. He only cried in 2 of them.
What about Van Jones? He stayed crying.
Who gives a shit?
But I think that's a black man.
So we see 100 men on TV, and because 3 of them or 4 of them cry, we're gonna say all these niggas are sassy.
No. I think
no, bro, it's definitely, come on, Sweeney, it's definitely a sassy pandemic. A sassdemic.
I think that everybody missing the point. Like, I was talking about the general, and even he said it, like, when it comes to marriage couples that's lasting, y'all gotta realize y'all mind frame is not the majority. I'm actively dating right now. I have friends that are single. We're actively dating. Y'all mind frames are not what the majority people think like. And if it was, we would be married too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all have to think about why they're doing what they want to do. A lot of men is going to end up having to cry and do too much because they're not healed. I'm not saying a man is supposed to be that, but a man has to go through that process at some point in his life to be the man that y'all saying that a man is supposed to be able to endure that. Like I said, we're missing fathers in the household, and the same thing, we're missing what the woman's supposed to bring, empathy. So a man in that type of environment, he don't really get a chance to really learn how to deal with those emotions in a healthy manner, or in a manner that's appeasing to women and to society, until he can learn how to deal with his own emotions. He's gonna come off angry. He's gonna come off sassy. He's gonna come off crying. He's gonna come off emotional because he needs that space to heal. We have to understand, like, yeah, this is what men are supposed to be, but they purposely conditioned us to be like this, so we having these type of arguments and fight, and we're lacking empathy for the people that actually need to heal. If these men, like, for instance, when I was going through what I was going through, when I was in high school, I graduated at 16. People used to adore me. But then when I was going through my stuff and I was under 100 pounds, I was depressed. Because, like I said, my guy was my high school sweetheart, 9 years together. And when we was broken up, we were still best friends. You know what I'm saying? So that hurt a different type of way. When I say my exterior under 100 pounds, I graduated 8th grade at 125. I look like a crackhead. And people was just like, oh, she this, she that. And she should just go ahead and do this. And why she ain't got her daughter? I needed the empathy. I needed somebody to let me cry. I couldn't, because the first 2 years I worked it off. Oh, I got this. I got this. I still got to hold it for my daughter. I still got to hold it for my daughter. So if I'm going through that as a woman, I be thinking about how a man going through that, because not only do he have to deal with his emotions, but then he got to deal with the emotions of his wife and all that, and he got to bottle them up. Like, it's not healthy. And eventually, for our community to heal, we got to stop saying, oh, I want the most healed man. It's not that many, because of how our community has been conditioned. Eventually, women gonna have to start saying, I'm gonna do my job and let this man cry. So when he go in front of his homies, back to y'all point, he would get that respect that he deserved. You know what I'm saying? He not crashing out being angry. He not hollering at the moon. You know what I'm saying? Because I took care of it at home. So now when he goes talk to his homies about it, he could talk about it like a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm saying.
No, but so when I say that let's go back to him screaming at the moon, because I mean it was a lot on the porch the other night. With that, because he was out there and he was able to talk to his homies, you know what I'm saying? He out there, man, Joe, she on, you know what I'm saying? I just came outside, she blowing my phone up. I can't do nothing. She got a track on my phone. They like, hey, Joe, wait a minute. You the one that brought that woman up in your house. That's why she got that track on your phone. What you thought? That all of us forgot that we know why she doing this? No, Joe, if she wants you to come home, you got to get up out of our gate and go home. That's what the men have to do with one another. That's why I say, take that to the barbershop, take that to the frat meeting, take that to the deacon board meeting. The men can help you do that more than the women. Because even when he said he was going home, one of the reasons he said he did not want to go home is because she was fussing so much on the phone. He said, I don't want to go home because she's finna be arguing on the phone. I mean, she arguing on the phone. She's going to be arguing when I get home. I'm just going to stand out here, you know what I'm saying, until she calmed down. And they had to talk him through that. You know what I'm saying? They talked to him as men about, okay, look, Joe, when you get in the house, do woo, 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 woo. When she get the arguing, you say da, 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 because men can speak to men in that way because they are men. Now, again, to your point, we give them empathy, we give them love, we kiss their heads and all that stuff. But when they are in these emotionally confused spaces, it's best that they be amongst men. This is why in certain societies, they separate the genders for this reason, so that women can deal with the women stuff and the men can deal with the man stuff. And when we come together, we are whole people because we got these pieces from our community that make us better.